Hi, welcome to Dan Time with me, Dan. This time in the closet. Not unusual for you, I'm sure. Okay, so like I said, we're in the closet today. The laundry closet to be specific. I'm filming very late today. So I needed a room with lighting because the place that I usually film, I rely on natural lighting. And it's like I don't even know what time it is right now. It's like 8 p.m. First of all, it's Saturday and I had a bunch of nightmares today or overnight, I guess. And I slept in and I didn't film during the day basically. This one's going to be a fun little session. We got a fun time ahead of us today at my expense. So that's how you know it's going to be good. First topic of the day, the style of cooking that was really popular in the 1950s through the 1970s is making a comeback in a big way. And I think there are multiple reasons for this that are extremely obvious. I mean, the recession plus conservative wave plus glorification of 50s and like that time period is making this whole situation happen. We're seeing a whole lot of one dish meals where they just kind of take a big container and they dump a bunch of stuff in a bowl and then like throw it in the oven or even in the fridge for a bit, pull it out and eat it. Even TV dinners are kind of making a comeback. You see, what is it? There's all those brands where you can order a bunch of frozen meals to come right to your door and you just heat them up and eat them whenever. This very hyper consumerism, hyper convenient way of consuming food, if that makes sense. I think it's obvious why this is happening. Like I said earlier, recession, it's easier to cook in bulk and just have a bunch of stuff to eat fast, heat it up, take it to work with you. And also late stage capitalism where we don't have any time to actually sit down and cook or cook with our families and things like that. We're all just trying to like throw shit together and eat it. I'm just wondering what's going to be next. Is there going to be a revival of the big jello salads, like the big hunks of jello with a bunch of stuff in it, like hot dogs in it? Are we going to bring those back? I don't know if you know this, friend, but Soylent Green is real. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's how we're doing as a society. I hope there isn't people in it, but I wouldn't be surprised if there are with the way that the FDA is being run these days. That was a depressing start. I promise there's better stuff. I promise there's better content coming your way. I'm sorry for making you sad if I made you sad with that. Let's move on to something a little bit more lighthearted and fun. Coachella car camping. I'm seeing it all over my timeline right now, mostly on TikTok. I don't really use Twitter anymore because Twitter has become really wild lately. I don't know if you've noticed, like, there's a lack of moderation or something going on there, and it's just getting real toxic and nasty. So I don't really go on there anymore. But on TikTok, I'm seeing all the Coachella car camping stuff, and honestly, it seems miserable. I don't think I would want to participate in that. Okay, so Coachella has been a huge thing since forever. I remember when I was like 14, it was huge on Tumblr, when like Lana Del Rey and everyone would show up with the flower crowns. It was big news. It was a big thing for all those bloggers, vloggers, anyone who was anyone on the internet went to Coachella back in the day. I don't know if it's still like that. I feel like it's kind of become like this unaffordable mess. All the videos that I'm seeing are people having bad experiences. Did Gaga's performance seem incredible? Yes. 100% yes, Gaga's set was amazing. Loved it. I would have braved the elements for that any day, but then after that, I think I would have left. Quite honestly, because the only other one that I'm kind of interested in is Megan Thee Stallion. I would love to see what she does, but really, I would only be there for Gaga and Megan. A lot of these videos, I'm seeing people be like, oh, I had to get up at 2 a.m. and go sit in the line to get into the camping area for 5 hours because it was so clogged up and there was not enough security hired. And then they finally get in, and it takes them forever to set up their campsite and get cleared. A bunch of them are getting pulled over in extra time to have a double, triple car check going on. Then they set up their camp, and there's already chaos going on in like the showers. Like the showers are real nasty. I heard someone say that they found a pile of pubes in the corner of the shower, which is just lovely. We love that. A lot of people saying the dust is really intense and like the winds are really bad. Also, Coachella is in the desert, so it's hot during the day, it's freezing during the night. There's no humidity, so your sinuses are being absolutely assaulted the whole time, not to mention the dust. I think I already mentioned the dust, but the dust going into your sinuses. Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like a nightmare, actually. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, why would I ever want to go to this? If I want to put on a cute outfit and pose at a festival, I can go literally anywhere else. Why Coachella? Also, obviously, I'm not a big music festival head, not a big Coachella historian, but how does it even work? What do you even do besides go there, be miserable in the desert? Like, what if you're staying at a hotel, can you come, or can you only come if you're staying on the property? Or how many stages are there? Where are the different areas that you go to? Where do you get food? Where's water? Where are the showers? Where are the bathrooms? Like what? I don't know. It seems like evil camping to me. Just not something that I would want to do. I already hate concerts and music festivals as is, if I'm being quite honest. Being that close to that many people with that much loud noise going on 24/7, also everyone's drunk, dehydrated, and rowdy. Not for me. Not for me. I need my space. I need to protect my peace. No, not happening. I would go to like one or two shows, but outside of that, oh my god, my hair looks crazy. Outside of that, no. No. Bye. I'm praying that my mic is not crunchy and nasty while I'm filming this because last time when I filmed, it was kind of crunchy and nasty. And I thought, oh, it's probably because it's dying. So I recharged it. And then I did a mic test like I do before every video, and it was mostly fine. So I'm hoping it's fine. I'm sorry if it's crunchy and nasty. I'm really doing my best. This is the only mic that I have. And I'm broke. Okay, now the moment you've all been waiting for, the good stuff, the juice, the meat, lots of meat in this section. We are going to go over fan fiction that I used to write when I was in middle school. Now, I remembered today that I had a Wattpad that I used back in the day, and it took me a while to remember the password and stuff, but I finally got into it, and I found some old fan fiction that I wrote, and I printed it out, and I'm just gonna read it to you verbatim. Um, Before we get into it, though, I want you to know I was super into One Direction back in the day. When One Direction first became a thing, I was like, oh no, that's gay and stupid. I'm not into that. I'm not into boy bands. That's so dumb. But then I started listening to them and I was like, okay, like, and then I saw that little blonde Irish man and I was in it. I was in that fandom for sure. After that, I was locked in. Niall was my favorite. I was a Niall girly through and through. That was my man. And if anyone tried to take my man, I would get very, very pissed at them. I took it personally. Like if someone else liked Niall, no, you can't do that. I was also super into Super Hulock for a long time. And I met a lot of wonderful, beautiful friends through Super Hulock. But also, oh my god, I was such a freak when I was into that. Spending way too much time on Tumblr watching these shows. If you can hear my cat screaming in the background, it's because we were just cuddling and watching a show while I was writing things down for this episode, and he's very angry because I woke him up from his nap. Yeah. I also was a Super Hulock editor for a while. um, I was really into making Super Hulock edits for Vine, and I would make oh god, I would make like thirst trappy ones. I was way into Sam. Sam was my favorite character. I also really loved Lucifer. it was it was something. Some people still comment on my videos and recognize me from my Vine days, and I'm like, don't Do not remind me. Do not remind me. Here are the goods. Classified documents, right? Classified. Let's tear into this baby or open it in a justified manner. All right. I, I have so much. I have so much here. So many words. Also, it printed very weirdly. It printed on the whole page. I did not know it was going to do that. I just did the Apple printing thing, like where you print it directly from your phone, and this is a mess. This is a mess. All right, this first one doesn't have a title. It was just straight up smut that I wrote about Loki from the Avengers. Because boy, was I into Loki and the Avengers when I was like 15. This actually might have been from earlier. This is kind of giving like 2012. When did the Avengers come out? 2012, 2013? Yeah, okay. This hold on to your hats because I'm looking over this and I'm feeling shame already. Okay. I'm just going to bite the bullet and get into it. All right? Here we go. You will kneel for me. Mesmerized, she got on her knees in front of her boyfriend. She smirked up at him. You're sure you're gonna give me the first swift at all the power, Loki? She emphasized Loki in a joking manner before leaving soft kisses around his member. Next line! A kiss on the tip sent him to stumble clumsily. His large fists clenched the dresser, forcing himself to keep his balance as a groan fell from him. Her teasing went on, pure enjoyment of his weak moans of pleasure, before she gave in and began sucking. His mouth gaped open. His smooth, low moans turned her on. Her hands gripped his thighs as her name fell repeatedly from his lips. Pulling her head away, she trailed kisses up his body until they met at his neck. His breathing was heavy against her cheek, his eyes closed. An accomplished look flashed across her as she continued kissing his neck. Kneel for me. Stop. A closed eye chuckle sent warm breath against her neck. For you? Such power doesn't exist in you. What? What the fuck? Why was I writing things like this when I was like 13? What was going on? Oh my god. I was possessed by a demon. Oh my god. I can see why I was sent to Jesus camp. Jesus Christ. I have a real long one. This one's a One Direction one, and I took screenshots of the whole thing. It has like 5 chapters. The chapters are like a page. They're not crazy, but this and like they printed really weird. Some of the words are cut off, so I'm going to do my best to salvage this and assume what is being said if it kind of cuts off and doesn't make sense, or I skip a sentence or whatever because it got cut off. Okay. Here we go. Beep, beep, beep. My alarm clock goes off. I roll over and stare at my picture of Louis Tomlinson smiling. I smiled back at him. I started to get lost in his eyes when all of a sudden, ... Kelly! My mother slammed the door open. I snapped out of my daze and sat up. You have school today, sweetheart. I ripped the covers off myself and got dressed, while my mother made me breakfast. I walked out into the kitchen and sat down while my mother handed me a plate of toast and scrambled eggs. My mother leaned onto the counter and watched me eat. Happy birthday? It's my birthday? I totally forgot. Oh, thanks, Mom. My mother had a sly expression on her face. What? My mother leaned in towards me. I have something for you. You just have to find out what it is. She winked and walked towards the door. Mom, what is it? My mom turned and smirked at me. I can't tell you what it is, but I can tell you this. You'll love it. She laughed and walked out of the door. I sighed angrily. My mother knows I like to know exactly what's going on and what's going to be happening to me. I was completely flustered. What could it be? Okay, she goes to school and then she walks confidently into the school, not at all prepared for what was going to happen to me in the near future. Louis Tomlinson's POV. I put on my favorite pair of red skinny jeans and my nicest striped shirt. I smiled and modeled in my mirror. Looking sexy as usual, Louis. I burst into laughter. Harry must have heard me, because he marched into my room worriedly. Louis, are you alright, mate? Stop! I smirked at him. Yup, you ready to meet this fan, Hazza? He smirked. Yup, he winked. We both lost it at that. We were laughing so hard that we were crying. Liam peeked into our room. Come on, lads, we gotta go. Liam pointed to his watch and started walking to his car. I grabbed Harry and ran to catch up with Liam. We hopped into the car with the other boys. What is it? This school? Liam looked on his phone for directions. Soon after that, they were on the road to the school. Maybe this girl will be normal. I laughed. Okay, it seems like we lost some text along the way, so I'm gonna do my best. Marie's perspective. I walked into school. It was Kelly's birthday. Kelly winked at me and said, yup. I smirked at Kelly and we both sang birthday sex at the top of our lungs. We both laughed so hard that it took us about 5 minutes to catch our breath. I was just about to ask Kelly what homework she had, but a sudden scream made me completely forget about what I was going to tell her. In about 3 minutes, all you could hear were piercing screams and hollers in the hallway. Kelly and I exchanged puzzled looks. What could be going on? Kelly's point of view. All I could hear was screaming. Not terrified screaming, but fangirl screaming. What's going on? I suddenly felt a warm hand grab my shoulder and swing me around. Happy birthday, love. In front of me was the one and only Louis Tomlinson. I couldn't believe my eyes. I just sat there with my mouth open. I was in such shock that I didn't notice Louis's eyes were closed. He suddenly opened them, revealing his beautiful hazel eyes. I got lost in them. Louis jumped a little and blushed. He looked over to Harry, which, of course, was covered in fangirls. Harry smirked at Louis and gave him a thumbs up. Hi. Louis' smooth voice made me just melt. I fell back into the wall behind me and got back up again. Sorry. I looked down and blushed. I just met Louis Tomlinson, and he had a crush on me. Ow! Ugh. It's so bad. It's so bad. Here we go. Here is my self-insert character. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I was putting my social studies and English notebooks away when I heard fangirling on the 3rd floor. Teenage girls these days. Fangirling over anything. I rolled my eyes and continued putting my binders away. I always organized my locker before lunch. It took up the time that I had to wait for Kelly and Marie to come down to the 1st floor and meet me for lunch. Suddenly, my phone made a short beep. I dropped my health textbook worriedly and jumped to my phone. What's wrong? Is my mother or father hurt? Is my brother dying? Did my grandparents die? Are my cousins alright? Always been anxious. Always been so anxious. I panicked and then looked at my phone. One message from Marie. I threw my head back in relief. Thank God nobody's hurt. I read her text. OMG, One Direction is upstairs. OMG, OMG, Louis likes Kelly. Come here right now. Yeah, right. Marie joked around a lot, so I thought this was another joke of hers. Sure. I quickly sent my message and stashed my phone into my locker. I calmly picked up my health book, and right as I turned around to put it back in my locker, my friend Anna stood broadly in front of it. You're not putting that book back into here until you tell me what that text said. She smirked at me. Anna knew that I hated being unorganized. I rolled my eyes. Listen, Marie sent me a text that said One Direction is upstairs. Okay, now move. Anna raised her eyebrows and slid away from my locker. Okay, is that all? I slammed my locker shut and turned to Anna. Yes, just go check on them, okay? Anna happily turned on her heel and skipped up the stairs. Oh, yeah, she was also singing What Makes You Beautiful. Great. I sighed angrily and turned back to my locker. I opened it back up to see my phone buzzing. I looked at my phone and it read 10 new messages, Marie. Just as I was opening my messages, my science teacher ran down the hall squealing, Zane, baby, I'm here for ya! Woo! Face palm. What has this world come to? I'm really loving how my character, the one that I wrote based on myself, is not like other girls. She's very different. She's kind of angsty, shy, reserved. She's very quiet. Yeah, very Mary Sue. Marie's POV. I sighed. I'm texting her, but she's not responding. She probably doesn't believe us. I stomped my foot angrily. I felt a slightly muscular arm wrap around my waist and pull me closer. I turned my head to see Zane looking at me. He was only about 1 inch away from me. Your eyes are beautiful, he smiled. I felt my face get red hot, so I looked down. He twirled me around and then hugged me. I'm Zane. Well, you probably knew that. What an asshole. He laughed a little and looked me in the eyes. What's your name? I looked at my hands nervously. It's Marie. Yeah. He lifted my head up. That's a wonderful name. To be honest, if I were one of these girls, he gestured to the crowd of fangirling high schoolers, and not to mention a few teachers, I'd be jealous of such a beautiful name. He winked at me. Zayn Malik just told me that he thinks my name is beautiful. Okay, is this a dream? I smirked and played with Zayn's hair. He laughed. So, future girlfriend, what you want to do? Zayn winked cheekily at me. And that's it. That's literally it. I never wrote another thing here. I gave up. And for good reason. My God. What was that? Diva, what was that? So yeah, I was a freak. Um Many such cases. This one is crazy. The Loki one. Um why were you writing that? Why were you writing that? Oh, well, after that, let's wrap this up. Let's get into the ins and outs, okay? Ins. LA influencers, but only their drama. I said in a previous episode that influencers really annoy me, and I stick by that. But man, the drama that they come up with, are you kidding me? It's so entertaining. God, the constant breaking up and getting back together with people, the fillers, the Botox, they can't even express the emotions that they're feeling. What was it? Dramageddon? And you did it at my birthday party. Legendary. It's great. It's entertainment. I'm sorry. I'm having a change of heart towards influencers. Keep them around so they can fight with each other. Put them in a house together like in Big Brother. I want to see that. I would pay to see that. Bottom growth. We love bottom growth. We love bottom growth. And if you don't know what that is, sorry. Google it. Bottom growth. Bottom growth. Last in for today is protein powder. Protein powder is kind of expensive, but I get like the generic store brand kind. It's like $18 for a giant tub of it. And just a couple scoops to some muffin mix or whatever, and you have hella protein packed in. It's great. Cheap bulk protein that you can throw into recipes and just eat, and like you'll be full for longer. I think it's worth it, especially with the way the economy is right now. If you want to just take a little protein powder and throw it in your like baked goods just because it'll add a little extra oomph to them, and it really doesn't modify the recipe unless like if you're using a box mix, I usually just add a little extra oil and water to it, and that kind of evens it out because the protein powder can make your batter a little bit dry, but it's an easy fix, I promise. Okay, outs. Retrogrades. There's a million of them going on. The time that I'm filming this right now, there's so many of them going on, and I'm so over it. I'm done. Stop it. We had Venus, we had Mercury. I think Pluto was in retrograde or something. Like everyone is in retrograde, girl. Get up. Get up. Stop doing the moonwalk. The economy. Economy's in its flop era. We know this. Recession time, second recession of my lifetime. And this time it might be even worse. No, I think it's guaranteed that it's going to be worse this time. Isn't that awesome? I was born a year after 9/11, and I grew up during the 2008 financial crisis. And then COVID cut my college years short, and I had to, move out and learn how to be an adult faster than most people have previous generations. I was when did I move out? I moved out when I was like 20. And the way that they went about fucking up my housing was basically just sending me a text and being like, "Hey, you can't live here anymore." My college. So yeah, awesome. And now a second chomp era. While my country is entering its flop era. I thought that rhymed. Rhyming era with era. Okay. All right, pack it up. Pack it up. Last out, allergies. I don't know if you can tell in this lighting or like based on the way it's edited or whatever. I am very red right now. My sinuses are very swollen. These kitties jumping all over me all the time, cuddling me, and they're shedding so much. That's making me swell up so much and have such bad allergies. On top of that, pollen and stuff is starting to come back. We're having a great time over here. We are having such a good time. So yeah, that's it. That's our Dan time for today. A little bit traumatizing for both of us, I think. I'm so sorry you had to hear my fan fiction from when I was in middle school. I say that like I'm contractually obligated to read this to you. No, I actively made the decision to go find it, print it out, and read it to you because I thought it was funny. So I'm not really sorry about it, but I hope you found it funny because I thought it was funny. Okay, bye!